CSU is home to many sports, from lacrosse to volleyball and of course to football. When you dive deeper, there's a club at CSU that feels they may deserve recognition as a sport. One team in particular plays a video game that has been threaded through media, pop culture, and overall video game history: Call of Duty. James Beatty, a member of the COD team, utilizes a teamwork-based playstyle.
Kind of similar to, like, I'd say almost sports in real life, right? Like, you have a game plan, you have plays you almost have to call out, right? You gotta know that the guy next to you is doing his job, that you can also do your job.
Though maybe not the technical captain, Jason Stock identifies his fellow members' strengths in the field.
Individually, everybody brings a few different skills, right? You have some people that have been playing these smaller maps and are really good at close range, and then some people that are better at sniping. In the moment, it's really quick. It's really, spur of the moment, but after the fact, we can reflect on it.
Our CSU basketball team wasn't the only team to have a recent buzzer beater clutch against an opposing school. Parker Smith clutched a final fight to determine the winner of the Call of Duty Border Wars.
This was in Warzone, so it was me and my teammate fighting 4 other people. And so for us, it's very nerve-wracking. You always want to make sure that you're up and you have full health, stuff like that. So I think when I killed this guy, that really set in that we won that match. And I think that was super important for us because it was like, we did it, we won the whole tournament. I think it was very tense, in the moments because it went down to the very last game. It was that last game that really decided if we were going to win or lose. And so I think whenever you actually get that win, instead of just jumping up and down, being happy by yourself, your teammates are surrounded with you. It's kind of like in normal sports when you win.
Going to the Border Wars football game proved disappointing for Ram fans. However, this team had a border war of their own and brought home a victory over Wyoming.
The competition normally is pretty crazy, but I think Border Wars was even more because we were sitting there right next to them, and we were sitting there playing right next to each other, which I think added another element to it, which was awesome. Because when we won, we could look at each other, high five, everything. But when we lost, we could actually talk about the things that we did wrong and how to improve it for the next game.
Yeah, being in person, that was actually spectacular. I think being able to meet them and just talk beforehand and kind of talk afterwards and see them as other real players is different, right? You miss that aspect when you just play online. You play online, you're like, all right, we just won, and then you kind of go off to your own world. Even with your buddies might do so, but yeah, in person, I think that it's more of the community behind it.
When it comes to discussing competitive gaming and the skill it takes, the age-old question must come up: are esports a sport?
Well, I do. Yeah, I do think it is. I think that's an interesting line, right? Because it's it is digital, right? And so it's neither be physical activity to be a sport. The argument also carries over to other areas and other interests too. So
it's a lot different, right? So there's less of the physical aspect. So there's less of having to maintain a really crazy physique or anything like that. So intensity is about the same, or almost even more intense because you're right in it all the time, right? Usually in basketball and football, you have timeouts, you have a little, a step away from the game. This, you're always in it, so it's a constant thing.
Regardless of others' conclusions, gaming has one major thing in common with sports like football and basketball: the camaraderie.
First and foremost, probably the friendships. You think that an esports team is all digital, you live through the digital world, you don't really know, but being able to meet the people that you wouldn't really know outside of the game, right? So having a team, being able to play with each other, and really it's building, it's a sense of family and community. It's really cool.